live from inside Porsche, Colorado Springs. It's the First Dibs podcast with our hosts, John Deisty and Justin Underwood. Buckle up and let's go for a ride.
Okay, we're not going to get to it, but the song is "Rock You Like a Hurricane," right. And you'll get it. You'll get it in a minute. Welcome back to the most unprepared podcast on the planet.
Hey, it's the First Dibs podcast from inside Porsche.
Yeah,
quote unquote Colorado Springs.
Yep, and we're here with friends. That's why you have this different atmosphere,
different view. So
you guys aren't on yet.
Yeah.
Oh. We'll point to you when you can wave.
Right.
We just
you're narrators.
Yeah.
Okay.
They can hear you though.
Yeah.
But no, it's the first Friday of the month, or the third Friday of the Saturday before Thursday.
That's right.
And that means it's a new Shift Colorado magazine day.
Heck yeah, let's go.
We've got our buddies. We got Brendan, we got Gunnar, we got Chris, and we got Steve.
Hey.
That's
Okay,
backwards
now you're on
your cameras.
Now we're on.
But welcome, guys, and thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having
and
us.
thanks for the gin and tonic.
Absolutely.
And thanks for the burrito.
Man, yeah.
Greetings from the most unprepared magazine that Colorado has to offer.
But it's there.
But it's
up.
there.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's on the internet.
Yeah. These are always a great show. Like, these are super fun. And we've got more and more people, right, that are learning about Shift Colorado. And so, thanks to you guys.
No, thanks to us.
Thanks to you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
We're modest. But yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for coming down.
Thanks for having us.
We usually do business, but I didn't prepare any business.
I have one article of business.
Okay.
A 2023 Cayenne GTS Coupe in Carmine Red with black interior at 16,500 miles.
That's really good. I think it had a $143,000 MSRP.
It was a big build.
Yeah, that's a big number.
Build. Yeah, that's fresh as of yesterday. So
why are there police here? Should we go check on that?
That's intriguing.
Yeah. Yeah, let me go do that.
All right, you go
John.
look at that.
I'll go talk to them. I totally know what's going on here.
All right, we got it figured out. So anyway, you guys can drive. New magazine's up. That's a Huracan of some flavor, I believe, on the cover page. Shot by a 15-year-old or something like that?
That is. So shout outs to Mo Williams, who was the winner of our cover contest this time around. So what we like to do is we really appreciate our local photographers here on the Colorado car scene, and we have started putting our cover photo out for folks to vote on. And Mo was the recipient of over 100 votes on this Huracan shot. So
it's a good one.
Mo.
It looks so nice.
It's a good shot.
Mm-hmm.
Very wintry vibes.
It's our favorite winter shot.
Yeah, it's very wintry. All the snow and.
I mean, that really does capture this winter.
Kind of.
Did you guys get snow?
does.
You got to be up on the mic, otherwise we won't hear you.
Oh, kind of
Yep.
does. Yeah. I mean, I was up in Bailey, so my winter was a little bit different.
You get more?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, like when I took off from the house yesterday, there was like, I don't know, like shin deep.
Oh wow,
places.
That's real.
Yeah, like up in the woods and stuff.
That's accumulation.
Yeah,
I
we
think
get
it's
nothing down here.
Yeah, we had a dusting this morning with our threatened significant amount of snow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my wife is on some school accountability committee for the elementary school, and they canceled due to weather 3 days before it rained, and we just weren't quite sure about that. So
That's accountability.
Yeah. So we're safe.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
The people in the car that he has pulled over is not safe.
All right. Oh, cool.
It's fine. We're all good.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Gunnar, you want to drive the computer? Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's set up so you'll have double pages.
Pages.
So it should look okay.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's our spread shot.
Yep.
So, yeah, just moving through. Really excited to stop on the masthead here and just point out, how many people are contributing to the project. We started as a very small team. And Steve can kind of speak more to that. He's kind of the reason this whole thing is around. But look at it's a healthy list. It's a good amount of people who kind of all lend a little piece of themselves into making this what it is, and it's really fun to just see how this kind of turns out every time we go around, kick another one out.
And yeah, we're excited to see this. It's not just our staff team, but it's contributors that are sending us articles and things like that, photography, and make it into articles. So that puts the pressure off of us to produce all the content, which producing content can be difficult.
Yeah.
So, yes. Let's look at you guys. It's not easy.
No, this is not easy.
Let me tell you about how difficult content is.
Yeah. No, that's impressive. I'm really happy that you point that out, right? It takes a village to raise a child, right? So, and there you go.
Or an ugly baby, whatever you want to call it.
Right. Yeah. No, this is, that's great that you point all that you give credit to everybody that it's due. So,
yeah. So I think before we scroll, I'm going to actually put it over to Mr. Clark himself. Give us a little bit of where the idea came from, because this is kind of a unique thing, isn't it?
Well, it's pretty simple. A couple of years ago, probably 2020 or so, maybe 2021. But Adam from Avance in Pacific Northwest had created a Denver chapter. And they came out with a magazine. I don't know if you guys have seen the Avance magazine, but it's phenomenal. And I got really jealous. It's like, man, why can't we have something like that out here? Because in the articles for the Avance magazine, they have maybe one or two Colorado-centric stories. But I figured we could take that one step further and just have fully a Colorado State car culture magazine. Brandon laughs about it, but yes, I was in the shower when this happened. I had the idea.
I promised I wasn't going to talk about that. Like
you forced my hand, Brandon.
Did you have a beer with you?
No.
Shower beer.
Just writing on the wall. That's all I was doing. But
With your finger.
the idea came from Avance, and the extra thing that I had was just I wanted other contributors. I didn't want it just to be Colorado Cars and Coffee centric. I wanted it to be, the Slush guys, Denver auto enthusiasts, the local auto clubs, Rocky Mountain Porsche, the BMW Club, bringing us content, because I knew content was going to be the heavy lift. And so the idea that I had was, let's reach out to these other organizations and invite them to participate. And many of them have come on board and submitted articles. It's been great. That was the genesis. I put it out to our team. Colorado Cars and Coffee already had a media team in place because we had done some videos through 2020, 2021.
I think you guys had been a part of those videos.
During COVID,
Yeah.
The Taycan Turbo.
Yep,
Right.
that was a great one. Great video there.
The Rally,
Yeah.
the Rally 911.
That truly was a good video.
Safari, yes. So we had a lot of fun with that. So we had a team already on board in-house. And so I just submitted to the team, hey guys, I had this crazy idea. Who would like to run with it? And for some reason, Brendan raised his hand and said, yeah, let's go.
That's how you can tell I'm intelligent.
So I've just said, take it away. I've been called like the master puppeteer or something. I don't know. The delegator. I'm good at that in my Air Force background, NCO, delegate jobs. And, it's worked out well. So,
I'd say so.
Brandon, back to you.
Back to me. No, I'd say it's been an interesting run. I think the next issue is going to be kind of another special milestone for us, because the next issue is 8 issues, 2 years, 8 different colors, many of them red. We do wind up with a lot of reds in our cover diversity. So if anyone's making plans on submitting for cover number 8, I would love a yellow.
Oh boy.
We
Hint,
haven't
hint.
had a yellow yet.
Hint, Porsche Colorado Springs.
Hint, Porsche Colorado. Yeah, there's something yellow down there, isn't there? Well, we can start spinning into some of the content that we did here. I think we'll just kind of cruise through, and we'll hit some interesting things as we go through. We won't touch on everything, but Chris actually shot this picture of one of your guys' friends, actually. I think you guys know Mako, right?
Yeah, so Mako is having it's a Targa, right? It's a Targa.
Yeah, I believe so.
It's a Targa. He's having it restored. So this was kind of just like my first time getting eyes on the car in his garage. Just got the new light painting wand. Had to play with that a little bit, obviously. And I've been keeping tabs on his build as it's getting all the body work done at
Metal Surgeon.
Metal Surgeon. Yes, thank
right.
you. So I've been down there twice now to shoot it in its various stages of restoration. Last time I saw it, it was back from the not sand, but media blasting, which is kind of funny because like a lot of like the pockets of the car looked like they were full of like donut sprinkles. Like that's just what the coloration of like this media that they used to blast the car was. And I thought that was just kind of funny. But yeah, no, cool project. Excited to see it done.
And the first time we're going to be covering something that we're actually kind of managing the story over multiple issues. So that's interesting. You know, usually when we talk about a car, it's, you know, it's done, it's driving. We can take a picture of it. It can move. It's kind of interesting to see something from this early on, how that's going to move.
It's like a long-termer.
A long-termer.
And the guys at, what was it, Grassroots Motorsports and Classic Motorsport, I think they would do some builds like that and cover them over the course of years even. So that's a cool thing, fun to track through.
Yeah, for sure. Did you get to talk to the Metal Surgeon people at all by chance through?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
So I've got what's his name? John, I think.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So I've spoken to him quite a bit. He's a super cool guy. They have some incredible projects going on in that shop right
Very
now.
much
Like
so.
I don't know if I'll give away like the thing that he's been working on, but like one of the projects that they have for a customer right now is they're converting this old Studebaker truck into like a Airstream styled camper. And so they've just got like the whole outer shell framed out right now, just like in the thin air. Here's this camper that they have made, and it's really neat to see. But yeah, he's got a aluminum bodied 911 in the works, which is super cool to see.
Interesting.
But yeah, a lot of really neat stuff in that shop.
Where are they? I don't remember.
Like Englewood.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right next to Farland.
Yeah.
They're like really close to them.
Yeah.
Yep. They helped a little bit with our some of our project cars.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, we're familiar with them. They're
Oh,
they're
right on.
friends of the store for sure.
Oh, cool.
Well, moving on into it, I'll take our first kind of big tentpole story here. So this is one that's probably not going to be a surprise to anyone, but we finally got our turn to cover the 3D printed Lambo.
Nice.
I don't know anything about that.
Really?
Yep.
Is this a father-son that did this
Yeah,
together?
so this is a father-son. Father's name's Sterling Bacchus. He lives up in Erie, and he had just finished a Mustang build, and his son was sitting in the living room playing Forza Horizon, I think, and driving, you know, an Aventador, and like, Dad, could we make one of these? And Sterling is a laser physicist and ex-Army vet, infantryman, I think.
Wow.
And also just really into 3D printing, and said, you know what? Yeah.
Sure.
So and I think this thing went together like crazy quick. I think kind of the bulk of what you see there was done in a couple of years. Like that sounds like a long time, but this is a car that is scratch built.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
The chassis is not, you know, derived from something. It is a scratch built chassis as well. So this guy Sterling just built a car from the ground up.
Does it pass smog?
It drives.
It drives.
We shot rollers with this car.
It is not a Fiero underneath.
Right, yeah.
Built the chassis. It was really
That's
impressive.
Just crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so he refers to it as the Interceptor because he kind of wanted to, you know, stay nice with the copyright rules at Lamborghini, and he got actually Lamborghini reached out to him one day, and he said he's like, oh. Expecting, you know, nothing good is going to come from this. And what they actually wanted to do was they wanted to do a piece on this because they had found out what he was building, and the people at Sant'Agata Bolognese thought it was a quite cool thing. So Lamborghini actually flew a team of like 20 people out to his house, real Aventador as well, and he says that this was not staged. They swapped a real Aventador out in his garage overnight without his son waking up, and he just woke his son up and said, "Hey, I finished it." And this is all on YouTube. They got the whole thing, and they let him bum around an Aventador for a couple of days, and they thought this was so cool because at the time this had a steering wheel out of a B6 Audi A4, and the folks from Lamborghini said this will not do.
This is not good.
So when they got back, they actually sent him the dash. They sent him the steering wheel. They sent him a bunch of parts from a real Aventador.
Holy moly!
Like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars of stuff.
Yeah.
Headlights. Right?
But like this thing's legit. It's twin turbo LS power. Crazy suspension that's not straight up and down Samboard suspension.
Right. Yeah.
It's actually got a really good replica of the Aventador dash as well. Like the thing is very well thought through, and it's kind of in the teething phases. It's got nose lift, adjustable ride height, but he's still kind of working on some of the things on various parts of the car. He's also letting the body kind of go through heat cycling to find where there's going to be issues, because what it is, he 3D prints the panels and then he does carbon fiber work over them to kind of tie it all together.
Okay.
So it's composite over 3D print.
Wow.
But he printed this car basically in a square foot at a time.
Wow. What is the media? I mean, what is the material, the 3D print material? Just
He told us
plastic?
it's some kind of standard 3D print plastic. I don't remember the exact formulation off the top of my head, but
Yeah.
You mentioned Duraglass. Is that?
Duraglass is a body filler, so that's what he uses
okay.
when he joins the panels. He'll put Duraglass over that and sand it down.
This is just a recreational use 3D printer. This is not.
Yeah, so he's actually sponsored by a company called Creality, who makes kind of prosumer, I guess is what you'd call it, 3D printers. So not like industrial stuff.
Yeah.
Meant for kind of the high level consumer.
People that know what they're doing.
And we got to go into his basement and see kind of his army of 3D printers. And it's really only 3 3D printers and kind of one large format printer that he's got on an island in kind of an off room.
Wow.
But I mean, this thing looked legit. When we pulled up on the house in the morning that we went up to go shoot it, I'm like, okay. Like, I mean, kit cars are an interesting thing. You never know what you're going to get. This was, and this isn't even a kit car. This is just, I built a car. Wild story.
I built a Lamborghini.
And what he does with it too, Sterling is very interested in kind of STEM education, so he uses this as a tool to go talk about STEM education.
Oh, sure. Okay.
He also worked to help get a local school sponsored by Creality and set up with several printers for a STEM curriculum. And just a totally wild car, really fun thing to go check out. Sterling, if you ever catch this, big shout outs to Sterling.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. That's awesome.
That's incredible. Let's see. PPIR, stoked to be ramping up their summer season. Gave us kind of a preview of what's to come for them.
Cool.
I don't know. Hot Rod Rock and Rumble is one I've always wanted to make it out to, and I've never had a chance to. That's the big like rockabilly freakout show they have at PPIR. That sounds like a lot of fun. We've done some stories of it before, and flamethrowers are involved, so I'm interested to see how that kind of works into a car show. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's one I want to get out to this year too. I haven't been to that one yet, and I would very much like to.
That sounds pretty fun.
This was a kind of fun one. I'll just give a quick shout out to the NASA gang. So we attended their awards banquet. It's always fun to go out to the races, but you never kind of see behind the scenes at the racing organizations. And wound up going out and shooting some photography for NASA at their award ceremony, and just seeing how they recognize their drivers over the year, and seeing kind of the community that gets built up out of the folks who do the race car things when they're not necessarily in their track suits and hauling trailers full of cars around.
Hey, there's our buddies.
There's your buddies.
Yeah, look at them.
The one thing you love talking about on a podcast is another podcast.
You know, we're totally good with that. But pass me the whiskey.
What's up? Yeah, right. Yeah. Here. Yeah. What is?
I need a cup too.
What's up with Doug in the picture?
I don't know. What do you mean? That's what he looks like. Yeah, that's a fully accurate shot right there. Huh?
Oh man, no, yeah, no. Ryan
They should
and Doug
take
are
the
great.
gin.
Yeah, they're
I'm
no.
still-
Ryan and Doug are great friends. Yeah.
Yep.
No, we love those guys. They're a ton of fun.
When are you guys going to do another show with them?
I was trying to wait a whole year.
We've tried. I mean, multiple times.
I think it was June.
Well, and then so they changed studios, right? And
Right.
that was kind of a big deal. And I get it's stressful, going through a big move and change like that. And
Yeah, but he's been on twice since they moved.
I have not.
Yeah, at least once. You documented it.
Well,
And then you were
I
on,
wasn't
like-
on. We documented them.
Yeah, you're pretty much on.
And I've been to it. I've seen it because I got to meet up with a little class, like an impromptu. And he was nervous about what his neighbors are going to think.
Oh, the donut morning?
Yeah,
Like in
yeah.
the fall? Yeah.
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 It's an awesome space, right? It's super cool.
It's a super cool space. Really nice garage.
Yeah.
I wish mine was this nice.
No, it's no, we do. We do, John. We need to schedule a show.
Yeah.
But we got to put it on a calendar, and we've never been able to lock in a real date.
But if it makes you feel better, this is a persistent article that you guys started. First time we ever did a Colorado content creator was
Yeah.
First Dibs.
Yeah, no, I thank you for that.
Yeah, right.
I think that was really a fun thing to get to be a part of. But to me, it's just cool to see you guys showcasing other stuff too, like other just content, like the Fastlane Car Guys. I know
Yeah.
you've been involved with too, and it's a small community, so it's cool to get to kind of see a different take on all of this.
Yeah, we've got such a great group of folks who make car content out here. It's fun to highlight a new round of people every issue. Gotta say, we took a lot of pictures of Ryan's dog. Shout out Esther.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
Very cute dog.
That dog knows how to ham it up for treats.
Right.
But yeah, we just we were kind of a fly on the wall for a show. They had Ryan Evans of Brews Beers fame on.
there's another good shot of Doug. Look at that one.
Yeah.
Great shot of Doug.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like
happy.
that one. The little Polaroid style.
Doug,
That's cool.
I think you look great.
Yeah, he does. He does.
Oh, yeah. No.
It's 100% him.
Let's see.
Oh, boy.
Well, oh boy.
I am so bummed I didn't get to go up to see any of this.
I thought you were going with Ryan.
I was in Hawaii,
Yes, you were.
so I could not go.
How about that?
Yep.
Well, someone here actually did get to go, and someone is sitting directly to my right. So
All
Ryan,
right.
Yeah.
I am, yes. Yeah, this was quite an event. I've been to a lot of pretty spectacular events in my life. Quail, I'd say, is right up there. And so I've been to all sorts of events like this, but this is definitely a different take on everything just because you're putting these cars on the snow and racing around for a weekend. So it's
Yeah,
pretty
so about a month ago, they had the FAT International. They do an ice race over in
Austria.
Austria.
Zell MC, yeah.
Yep. And they brought it to the U.S. for the first time and brought it to Aspen. So for those of you that are just listening to us, there's a 911 GT1 ripping it on, let's call it a frozen lake. I don't know if that's exactly what it was, but
Yeah.
we'll call it a frozen lake.
Not quite. It was a tree farm.
Yeah.
It had some logistics issues, but we'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, just a super cool history. So initially, just kind of started out as a memorial race. Ferdinand Porsche had passed away, and so they kind of did this in memory of him in Zell MC in the 50s. And they kind of just developed it from there as a huge following. People really grew a liking to it. So they kind of just stuck with it for quite a few years. And it was a little unknown to me, so I dug into it a little bit, why they stopped hosting the event. And I guess one year, they actually, the week of the event, had a snowplow basically mapping out the track and fell through the ice, and the driver died. So,
Oh.
small issue.
Oh.
Yes. So
Wow.
that kind of shut down the event, canceled everything, and kind of took a backseat for quite a few years. Ferdy Porsche, which is the grandson of Ferdinand, of course, decided that he wanted to kind of revamp everything and reintroduce it to Zell MC, which is where it all started. So kind of kicked it off again. The crowds that it drew were pretty large. Everyone took a liking to it, so it was successful once again, which was great to see. And he kind of wanted to rebrand everything and expand the event a little bit. So he decided what better than to bring it to the United States, which, we have quite the community here. So that was pretty great to see. Naturally, Aspen, I'd say, is a pretty good place to do that. They did have some logistics issues. All of these I've heard on and off a little bit, so I'm not sure what's true and what isn't. I know they were initially trying to do it at the go-kart track, the Aspen Motorsports Park. That didn't work out too well. They couldn't host large events. They were trying to get permits for that. Couldn't host anything over 500 guests. They wanted to do a parade in downtown Aspen with all the cars driving through. That didn't work out. So basically, they put themselves in a hole financially right off the bat, big time.
Sure.
And they just needed a way to dig themselves out of it. So they found a tree farm. Actually, it was a pretty good venue, to be honest, which is nice to see.
This is where they do Roaring Fork, right? Same venue?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, they were a little bit in the hole money-wise, needed to find a way to dig themselves out of it. So $2,000 for a day ticket seemed, good. If you want the weekend package, $8,000 was a nice number.
Right.
So
Good work where you can get it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So thankfully, I had a couple friends that were going up here, and they had an open spot. So I slipped right in. I was applying for media, and they said they'd get back to everyone. They didn't. They filled those spots pretty quick.
Right.
So thankfully, I was able to go another way and still cover the event, which was great. But yeah, just spectacular seeing all of these historic race cars and everything racing around on the ice.
And you kind of get to hang out with the drivers. I mean, you're right. The whole area is the big paddock. Is that right? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So I guess the really cool part about it is all these guys you see everywhere. Henry Catchpole and Jeff Swart and like all of these big names that we have local or worldwide.
Right.
They're just walking around and driving race cars when they're, not present in the pits. So lots of really big names. Tanner Faust was driving a Volkswagen Golf R, the new one, just ripping it around. You have guys from like the Hoonigans there and all sorts of people that, you can look at a face and go, yeah, I know who you are. So definitely pretty cool just go out there and like feel like you know everyone, even though you've never talked to any of them. So that's pretty cool. On top of that, second day was getting a little slushy towards the end, so track held out just enough for it to work as it should have. But yeah, just a great event. There was, of course, a 911 GT1 there, which was the winning car of Le Mans in 1998.
I guess there were some Porsches there too.
A couple, yeah.
There was an S1E2 and a 90 IMSA GTO, so I'm set.
Yeah, RS60. Some pretty fantastic historic Porsche race cars, but I don't know, just, they focus on little details, which I think is cool. Everyone that's working the event is wearing jumpsuits that all match, so it's really like official looking and it just feels really high class, which I like. I think the cool part about it was just like you're right off the freeway, but it's somehow like so untouchable. Like the exclusivity of the event just feels like, no one's going to touch it. So I just think that was a pretty solid introduction, even though the logistics side wasn't, super well formatted. I'm sure they'll get that worked out in the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it was a great introduction to their presence in the United States. And yeah, the cars there were unmatched, so I'm sure it's going to get even crazier from here on out.
Right.
Yeah, I got to talk to Zwart a little bit after the event, and he was saying that everybody really felt like it was a success, kind of on the Fat International side of things. So they're really trying to do it again next year. And then I think Aspen was very gun shy about doing, having it be a big thing. But they're going to work to try to get it up to like X Games levels of participants, which I think he said was maybe 5,000 people. So if they could expand it there, then, maybe I can afford to go.
Certainly.
I think your first year is always difficult. You have to show the town that you're responsible enough to organize it, and it's not going to be a bunch of wahoos driving race cars through town and everything.
Right.
So I've got the wish.com version here. This is one I'm just going to stop on for a second because it was an absolute blast. And this is Georgetown ice driving, and pretty much any weekend over the winter through some organization, you can find a way to get involved in this. And it is as simple as it sounds. You take your snow tire equipped car, you drive it to Georgetown, you put it on a frozen lake, and you see how far it slides. So I went with Quattro Club North America, and I was mostly there to shoot, but I was up with the owner of that S6 with no bumper on it that's on the title image there. kind of entertaining manual swapped 4.2 S6, a lot of fun. But yeah, you just, they basically have it set up like a very thin autocross course. There's cones maybe, I'd say there's like 10 cone gates throughout like a 30-second run. So it's semi-free form, but you just blast through those and see what car control's like on just raw ice.
Right.
And it's interesting how it changes over the day. If you leave your window open, you get blasted with snow.
Right.
It's just a fun time, and what's interesting is anyone can go, as our friend with the F-150 XLT work truck goes to show you.
That's fun.
Either an engine block heater or a ratchet strap holding down the hood on that.
Right.
As long as it stays
That's
down, you're
pretty good.
golden.
Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, I mean, just what a fun day to go spend a Saturday, and it's $100 for a carload of people. So you can bring 4 people in a car for $100.
Wow.
And you can switch off, so it works out to $25 a head to go rip your car on a frozen lake.
Man, I hope it stays cold enough for that, right? I want to do that next year.
Oh, you mean year over year?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, getting into March, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's gonna go.
Right.
I'll be rooting for you.
Yep. Looking for something to do on the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Maybe put some floaties on the car.
So, Chris, this was fun, and you were here. I'm gonna hand this one over to you.
This one, Live Fast, Die Cast. The Monster Motors Hot Rod Garage Hot Wheels racing thing that they're doing as a fundraiser. Pretty straightforward. You pay an entry fee, you bring a Hot Wheels car, and then you drag race it against the other entrants. And it's just really cool. It was a really relaxed, fun event. Lots of people came out with lots of different Hot Wheels cars. My choice in the Mitsubishi Pajero Evo was not the best choice. I was thinking, like high center of gravity, something with a lot of weight up top and in the back, like kind of like your Pinewood Derby strategy for weight distribution. So that's why I picked the car I did. But yeah, it was just fun. Like drink a beer, watch some Hot Wheels go up and down the track, and
Yeah, so for
took some pictures.
They run this every Saturday through the winter months just to pass the time. This supports Monster Motors Hot Rod Garage, which is a veteran support charity.
Okay.
They have a space and they work on vehicles owned by vets. They put vehicles together to sell to fund vet efforts. It's a really cool charity. $10 gets you in, and it gets you a beer at Mash Mechanics. So
Wow.
it's a great way to kill a couple hours on a Sunday. We had an absolute blast.
And this is down here in the Springs.
This is down here in the Springs, yeah.
How many tracks are going at a time?
Just one. So everyone is watching the same race. Everybody watches everyone race.
And it's a drag, right? There's two, like Pinewood Derby versus 8 going at the same time or whatever. I mean, it's 2 cars.
So there's a stock class and an unmodified class. It's single elimination, so you run, you're out, or continue.
Yeah.
And one of the guy who wrote the story for us actually did a modified car. He took a car apart and filled it with lead solder the morning we went.
Nice.
I was calling it the vomit comet because it's just a yellow Audi that looked terrible after getting a pile of solder melted into it. But
It was a little rough.
he almost got it. I think he wound up second that day.
He so in the modified class, it was funny because he got beat by a stock Hot Wheels car that was like I forget which year it was, like a GM Monte Carlo, and I distinctly remember that specific Hot Wheel because I had 2 of them as a kid, and they were a very heavy Hot Wheel. So I was like, when I saw it, I was like, oh,
Right.
They found the heavy one.
Yeah, right.
There's a surprising amount of strategy to it. Like Steve sent a car that had rubber tires.
The fancy tires got an Alfa Giulia, the 1965.
How'd you do, Steve?
I lost.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That unsprung. It's the rotational weight.
It's the rotational
It's
weight.
not the unsprung weight.
Right.
Well, I think there's also some benefit to having a wheel that will slide against the track surface versus grip it.
Oh, sure.
Because you're bouncing off the sides
Yeah.
of the track and
Yeah.
stuff, and I think if you're catching that,
And that's a long track, it looked like.
pretty decently
it was-
long. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough length to it where like if you were the faster car out of the gate, it didn't mean that you were going to win.
Right.
So it actually was like for 2 Hot Wheels going up a track, it was actually pretty exciting.
That's
to watch.
pretty awesome. And on the Sunday that you went, how many people were racing?
Maybe like 2-3 dozen, you think?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no, it was a big tent full of people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do people bet on it?
They had a
Is there like a side bet thing?
I mean, we could get that started. I like the way you
Wheels
think.
bookie.
Yeah.
They had a full timing setup at the end. Yeah,
Nice.
The little display.
Yeah.
And to get the car started too is on like a push button.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Drop a gate.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
And then just the absurdity of what some people brought. I saw 2 helicopters race each other.
That's fun.
It
Yeah.
was,
Right.
It's amazing. So if you haven't checked it out, Monster Motors Hot Rod Garage's Hot Wheel Racing every Sunday over the winter at Mash Mechanics.
And you said it, but what does the money go to?
It goes to Monster Motors Hot Rod Garage. So they're that vet support.
Vet
charity.
support.
Yep.
Vet support. Yeah. Perfect.
Two
So
more
Chris-
questions on that. Or maybe just one. Are they claiming races? Can I buy the Hot Wheel if it wins?
I mean, I think that could be negotiated between you and the Hot Wheels owner.
Okay. You know what those are, right?
Like racing for
Claiming races where
Yeah.
like if you win,
Oh,
somebody can buy your car for $3,000.
Right.
No, I-
So it limits your exposure into building the car because if you win twice in a row, somebody can buy your car for $3,000.
Interesting.
So anyway,
I think they have a rule like that in 24 Hours of Lemons.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yep.
Yep.
So all right, well we'll leave it at one question. Continue.
Well, what's your second question? You got me interested
it was similar.
Okay.
Yeah,
Racing for pinks.
that's what it was. Yes, thank you. Yeah,
If I win, I keep your car.
yeah, exactly.
Chris, I just want to keep you talking. So
Yeah, well, I will just keep talking. We have now arrived at the Lexus LX 600 Ultra Luxury review, and I felt uniquely qualified to review this for 2 reasons. One, I used to work for Jaguar Land Rover, so I was exposed to Range Rovers day in, day out. Base to Holland and Holland. I've been in all of them. And then I also drive an LX 450, so I have something that is in the LX 600 lineage, and I've put like 80,000 miles on my LX, so I'm like, yeah, I'll talk about the new one. And it was an absolute joy to drive for a week. I mean, everything was effortless. The stereo probably did a little bit of hearing damage as I was trying it out. But the cool thing about this one is that they did away with the bench seat for the ultra luxury, and they put in this like really cool executive seating in the back, like akin to like your first class airline treatment. And so you've got this little touch screen up your center console in the middle, where you can like do things like your back massager,
Almost like a
things
Bentayga
that.
type setup in the back.
Not familiar with the Bentayga, so I'll say yes.
Okay.
You know, like on par with that, like attention to like luxury detail type thing. And one of the fun things with that screen in the back is you could hit a button, and if you're in the rear passenger seat, it would slide the front passenger seat all the way forward.
Yeah.
And deploy an ottoman so you could kick your feet up, lay all the way down, take a nap in the back. So I was working on a video. I unfortunately did not complete the video. I blame GoPro for that. My camera would shut off at a 77% state of charge, saying the battery was low. But I was gonna, you know, like test its overlanding chops because that's what I do with mine, and I was gonna sleep in the thing.
Okay.
But yeah, camera troubles complicated that. But yeah, no, super fun to review. We had an awesome roller session with it. We took it up Coal Creek Canyon, hit a little bit of Rollins Pass with it. We had, I'm so bad at names.
Eric Kircher.
Yes. Shout out to Eric. He came along, just local Land Cruiser enthusiast, wanted to come along for the ride. So
Actually, that's what's fun about this is we just had someone notice what we were doing when we posted about it, and he said, "Can I come?" And we're like, "Yeah."
More the
So
merrier.
we just had someone from kind of the general public come hang out while we did what we were doing, and he supported us. He actually had a first aid kit when I stuck my hand into my drone.
That was my first aid kit.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate you saving me from bleeding out. But yeah, that was a just super fun morning. I drove one of the roller mobiles for that and tried to take drone footage, and that didn't go good. So,
But yeah, it was cool because our second opinion on this by Dustin Kraft, he also owns LX. He's got the white 570 that's in this picture that we're looking at. So our second opinion piece was also done by an LX owner, just a newer LX. And I got to drive his that day, and I was like, oh, I could see myself in a 200 series. Like, these are pretty nice. So yeah, you know, overall, really, really excellent vehicle. Would recommend if you're looking for something with executive seating in the back and only need to carry 4 passengers.
what's your budget if
I
you're
guess
looking
3.
for something like that?
Yeah.
130, 140.
Yeah.
Wow.
About 134.6.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. If we want to count the pennies.
What color is that one?
That is nori green pearl. It's actually a really interesting
It's
color.
pretty cool. Yeah.
It looks awesome in the sunlight. I washed that car 3 times in the week that I had it because I wanted to keep it nice for the photos.
Right.
But yeah, so that was a fun one.
I wish more companies did that executive seating stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, like a Sienna minivan with 4 seats.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
It'd be so good.
so
Like,
luxurious.
I took a
Where's this
kind
going?
of the opposite end of the spectrum. My wife had a work meeting in California. Her brother worked with the same company, so he was going with. He lived in Scottsdale, and they had a Dodge Caravan American Family Edition.
Ooh.
American
Family Edition.
As in
Yes.
like the
other
animated
edition?
television show? Or?
No, not Family Guy.
Okay.
No, just yeah, exactly.
Was the other one?
Sorry, I
American
put-
I
Dad?
think
American
what
Dad
it
and
meant
Family Guy
was
together,
it had like vents in the ceiling and cloth seats.
Families love vents.
So and it was wrapped in the livery of the business. It was an advertising expense. So yeah, exactly.
Is he a plumber?
Yeah. No, this is massage spa.
Oh, even better.
A lady with stones on her laying down on a table, plastered all over the side of this thing. I
love it.
So
So is this what the 70s Wizard van has come to in the 2000s?
it's probably pretty close, but I called back seat for this drive. So we pulled out the middle seats and put in like an inflatable couch in the middle for my legs. And I sat all the way in the back with a cooler of beer and rode from Phoenix to Carlsbad in the back of this thing. And it was the greatest. Like you could get up and walk around a little bit, stretch your legs. Like it was just fantastic. So
No open container law.
not when you're on vacation. And isn't that a rule? Like I had a Colorado license at that point. I was in Arizona, Nevada, and California, so they can't arrest you. But
definitely how that
4-seat minivans, greatest invention ever.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that.
Fight me on that.
My brother and I discovered that growing up too. It's like we wouldn't pull the middle seats, but we would fold them down to both sit in the back
Yeah.
and kick our
Oh,
legs up.
right.
Like
Best.
this is the greatest thing
Yeah,
ever on road trip.
exactly.
Like
What? Huh? You
minivan
gotta
should
put cans up so you can talk. You know, this is before the Bluetooth Hyper Cruise talker thing and the
Honda Odyssey with the intercom.
Yeah. The intercom in your
car.
minivan.
Yeah.
Actually, my Telluride has an intercom. We use it for roller shoots.
It's
it actually
fantastic.
helps.
No, it is. You can yell at your kids like this. Hey, stop it! God damn it, Lewis! Stop poking your sister.
ASMR on First Dips, folks.
Yeah. All right. I took up too much time.
That's
but
fantastic.
4-seat cars, 4-seat giant cars. Yep. Let's ruin the planet another way.
I want to get Steve talking again because he doesn't like it. So, Steve, why don't you tell us about street survival? Because this was a big passion article of yours.
Yeah, it sure was. So, Teen Street Survival, it's hosted by the BMW Club. I think it's sponsored by Tire Rack. But they've taught over 25,000 students over the past, 5-7 years of these classes. And it's almost set up like an HPD, high performance driving event, where they have the teens driving on the track and also some classroom time. So they're learning new skills. They're taking the cars to the extreme. They're stopping very hard. They're hitting ABS, making adjustments in left, right. You can see there on the far lower right corner, they've put down cracked corn. I've seen before in the past, they've had like a water truck out there. Where they have the circle pad. And these kids are just having a wonderful time. And it's just a wonderful program to learn as much as you can about car control.
I like that kid's face in the Miata.
that made my day when I saw it. It's like that. That's the face you make when you drive a Miata for the first time.
I saw that picture and I knew it had to be in the layout.
Yeah.
Right.
But this was written by one of our non-Shift Colorado Cars and Coffee team members. So
Yeah, shout out to Aaron.
shout out to Aaron.
Yeah. And all 3 of my children have gone through the class, whether they wanted to or not.
Yeah,
So
right.
It was good.
That's awesome.
How young do you have to be? I am also someone's child.
I think early 20s they can
Okay.
cut it off.
Well, I'm past that.
Not mentally.
No. Never.
Yeah, do we want to touch on this GTR really quick?
Yeah, we can touch on that one.
Because this one has a bit of a funny story, if I recall correctly.
Just what was in the sat nav when he bought it?
Yeah, what was in the sat nav when he bought it was kind of funny because I think the sequence of events was like Nissan dealer, and then what was it, like a wedding dress shop, and then the venue, and then I think it got traded in shortly there.
No, it got darker from there.
Oh, okay. I misremembered.
We have that somewhere, but it was Nissan dealership,
I think divorce attorney was in
title
there, maybe.
office, wedding dress shop, divorce attorney, selling dealership.
Wow.
But this was just a nice opportunity to go up and shoot some rollers in Deer Creek Canyon. Chris hung out the back of my Telluride and went to town on shooting some GTR rollers on a snowy road. So nothing better.
So for that one on the right, is that then you in reverse with Chris out the back?
We were. I was out the window.
Okay.
Actually, we should try that. Let's write that down.
Yeah, that sounds safe. Let's do it. I see no negative outcomes from trying that.
This one I just got a kick out of for the. So this is every once in a while I'll do an out-of-state article when one of our teammates travels. So this is Neo Gunawan. He's kind of a fixture in the Denver car show scene. If there's a car show going on, there's a good chance Neo's there. He's from Indonesia. He's super gregarious, like super fun guy. And he went to Orange County Cars and Coffee out in California, which is one of the kind of the OGs and one of the bigger cars and coffee meets, and got a chance to speak to the owner and just walk around and take photos of kind of how the other half lives out on the West Coast. And it's really interesting to see kind of the diversity of things there. I see someone's gigantic garbage
Little
piece of
DeLorean back
crap
there.
but sorry.
Sweet Thunderbird though, like
Sweet
I do
Thunderbird.
like it.
Right.
Fantastic Thunderbird.
Yeah.
I'm going to get away from the triggering issue. This one is one that Steve and Chris can speak to really well.
Yeah, I can take the lead on this one. So what we're looking at is a FJ60 Land Cruiser in someone's garage, and as the story goes, the owner had a back injury and wasn't able to finish his project vehicle, and so they put out this ask for help on social media, and the Land Cruiser community of Denver came together and we helped him put his transmission back in. So I was there shooting photos, but I also bolted up the flywheel, torqued that to spec while I was there. Just crawled around in this guy's garage, helped out where I could. And
Chris, when you say back injury, he had a broken back, right?
I was saying it lightly, but yes, he did break his back.
Jeez.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's up and mobile again. Like, he's on the mend, but you know, like, I can't lift a transmission into a Land Cruiser. So we just hung out, helped him out. Unfortunately, I had to take off around lunchtime, so I didn't get to see the job completed. But later that day, there was video of it running and driving under its own power. So it did get done. And yeah, you know, it's just a cool little moment of a Land Cruiser community coming together to get a project done.
There was a show, like Garage Rescue, or what was that show?
Am I right?
Right. Yeah. Close. Same idea.
Something like that.
But not ruining the car with like TVs and actually fixing it.
Well, and I like the guy's license plate, free with a capital PH.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a funny story behind that too, where he owned it and then sold it and then bought it back.
Oh.
So there's some element to that there too. But yeah, no, I mean, I obviously am a Land Cruiser nerd, so this one hits close to home.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Steve came by with donuts and coffee.
Steve brought donuts. Way to go, Steve.
Ooh, that's like very Grand Tour-esque.
So as you guys know, we always like to feature one Colorado photographer pretty prominently. We give them 10 pages in the article, 5 spreads. This time was a fun throwback for us. So this is Katie Rowan and Joe Bertoni, Joe was actually responsible for the cover photo of issue 1.
Oh, wow.
And basically they're doing the van life thing. So they travel a lot. They go out. So Joey's been shooting automotive professionally for a long time. He shot for manufacturers. And Katie kind of shoots on the racing side of things and motorcycles. They're just a really cool pair of folks. So we kind of covered their portfolio of some of the things that they've gotten up to. But yeah, I mean, we always love covering our local photographers in town on the scene, and this one was just really special to be able to.
There's us.
There's you. Mm-hmm. Is that Donner or
That would have been Donna.
which David is that?
That's neither. That's
was
Gustav.
Gustav.
It's got
Gustav
the
Lund.
flag on the roof. That's not a Colorado flag.
No, Joe's brother from a Swedish mother. Yeah, no, Gustav's great. He's a friend of the store and in the very heavy in the Porsche community over in Sweden.
Did that car turn white for 2023 last year? Was that the white and blue car, or was that a different car?
That was Brumo's collection.
Okay.
I think it's turning gold this year, though.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. But you know what? Jason Schmidt actually would be quite proud if you thought it was the because that car is a 2015 911 Turbo S, not a GT2 RS Club Sport.
Really?
Yeah. So even though it's got all the GT3R and the GT2 RS Club Sport S kind of stuff, but no, it's a 15 Turbo
Just
S.
a Turbo S base with a bunch of cool stuff bolted on.
Well, yeah, not yeah. I mean, that's
you
how
could
it
put a
started
plate
life.
on it.
Well, yeah, sure.
That's how it started life.
Yep.
Yes, but no, that car is been hand built. I mean, to what it is now. It's
Jason, I apologize for the gross oversimplification there. But, yeah, landing on so we do a Cars with the Contributors every issue, of which I'm seeing a editing error that we'll have to go back and correct here. But
Don't point it out.
oh, it's fun to pull the curtain back. So this is this is Jake Lano. He's someone who we met actually doing Lemons coverage for our last issue, and just new add to the team, as is Gunner. Actually, this is Gunner's first round with us, and just a lot of fun. And he put his car up for the taking, and talks about what getting used to life with an old 4Runner's like, as well as kind of slow V6 life. But he's been a great add to the team. We've really enjoyed having him on. He's really, made everything a lot of fun. Getting through to the end here.
Oh, I see.
So we're
passing over my corner.
Do you want to talk about your corner?
I talk about planning road trips. It's very exciting. You should read it.
Hmm.
Yeah, I like to do road trips, and so I thought I'd share a couple thoughts on it.
yeah, no, that's cool.
But
I mean, so once in a while, I mean, I need to plan a road trip, like a day road trip for an event.
sure.
So I guess if there were three main key points for strategy,
Ooh, 3 key points.
keep in mind that I have to start and end in the same place.
Start and end in the same place. Okay, so if you're starting and ending in the same place, I think then, I mean, it's not quite an A to Z, but like you're still doing like an ABC kind of road trip. So I think like you plug in your destination where you want to go, and then look at what's in between, and like see like, is there anything interesting? Are there any really squiggly lines on the map that I can go drive on? Like, is there like, what is Google populating for like popular results? And also just like think through like, okay, like, like this is an area that either I know a bunch about or I know nothing about. Just like Google like things to do, things to see, and then just kind of gauge it based off your interest. Or you can do what I like to do, which is where you figure out where you're starting and ending the day, and then just leave it up to fate.
Okay.
I think it's good to plan a bit of both into that, like have some structure, have a little bit of, just like flexibility to improvise. Because like really good example last year, I was out on a drive to California, and I'm crossing Utah on the Pony Express, and there is a brush fire.
Oh boy.
And get closer, and it's a prescribed burn. Like they're doing it on purpose. But I asked the first group of guys who were setting the fires, it's like, hey, can I drive through this? And they're like, no. So I'm like, okay, great. So I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the map, and like figuring out like, okay, like this is going to be like an 80, 90 mile detour to get back onto the route that I had originally planned. And so I'm like, okay, like fine, I can improvise. But then here came another group of different people. So I'm like, maybe, mom said no, maybe dad'll say yes. So I ask them, it's like, hey, can I get through this? And they're like, yeah, give us a couple minutes, like we'll come back and we'll guide you through. So ultimately I got to drive through a brush fire, which was kind of cool. But, just going into it with the mentality of like, leave room for flexibility and just like, I think one of the fun things about road trips is just discovering stuff that you didn't plan. Like in the pictures from this, all the pictures with the Mazda Speed, that road trip, one of the highlights from that was going to the Motorsport Hall of Fame at Talladega on a Tuesday morning, and no one was there, and I had the place to myself. Had no idea that it was on my route. Saw a billboard, and I'm like, yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah, right.
So,
Justin, doesn't Porsche have a driving app that has like the best roads or something?
Yes.
Have you heard of that?
I do.
What's the name of that?
I should use that.
Dan.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. 1-800 Dan McInnes.
Yeah. That would be pretty amazing.
Yeah, no, there was. I think it was when like the Panamera GTS was relaunched. They had a Porsche Drives app. And
Yeah.
you could go on a drive and post your drive, and
Right.
people could rate how you drove it. And I bet it has a 1.7 on the App Store.
Yeah.
would be my guess.
Right.
But they do.
Yeah, because planning road trips, especially for groups, can be kind of challenging, right? It definitely has struggles, and because you have to bring things into consideration. Like me, I drink I don't know how many liters of water a day, and I take one piss. Not everyone can do that, right?
Yeah, he's still rehydrating from the years of alcoholism.
Not everyone is able to do that, so you have to think of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's interesting points along the way. And yeah, getting off of the beaten path, right? That's the important thing. So
To me, that's like the number one priority. Like the next trip I've got planned, when I drive down to the Grand Canyon later this year, I'm going to be on the way there off pavement more than I will be on pavement if everything works out with the route I have planned.
right.
Well, I wanted us to end on "We Want You." This is a regular piece where we just encourage folks. We're out putting this thing together, and kind of the only thing missing is anyone who wants to be involved. It's been such a project with a lot of different faces kind of coming and going over the years, and as I've been thinking about it, I just kind of I was interested. I kind of want to see, Gunnar, you're new and you've gone to one event, so I'm going to skip over you a touch, but your event's better probably than anything we're going to talk about. Steve, Chris, what's your favorite memory from your time on Shift?
Ooh. Oh, I think one of my favorite memory was technically pre-Shift.
Yeah?
Because in issue 2, I got to write about attending Goodwood Revival, which I did on my own time before I was with the magazine. And then when I responded to a "We Want You," and I was like, hey, I've got pictures from this. And Brendan was like, yeah, let's run with it. But I think on staff, I don't know if I
Favorite thing
can...
you covered. You got to have one.
I mean, I know it's hard to pinpoint, but like honestly,
Covered or even like parties or things we've hung out at.
I think the roller sessions that we do, like it's always fun to get together and just take pictures of moving vehicles from other moving vehicles. I think the Safari 911 that we did, that one really stood out to me as like just finding a cool car, leaving a note on the windshield, getting a positive response from the owner, and then running with it, and him being willing to take it off pavement for these photos. I think that one was really cool. In particular.
Shout out Mitch.
Yeah, that's right.
He has to be anonymous, remember?
Shout out not Mitch.
Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah. Well, Steve, what about you?
He took my answer. The rolling sessions. There's a picture of me on the roller session. I like driving the camera car.
Yeah, you look like you're having fun.
And the kids in the back are strapped in. They got the harnesses on and everything. And we're going slow speeds, but it's just a great morning. We're out either Deer Creek Canyon or we're driving down south of the Vehicle Vault in Parker. It's just a fun time. I really enjoy that.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think that's cool. You don't do any? Do you ever do downtown shoots?
We did last time actually. We had a early morning downtown shot.
Yeah, the VIP LS 400 that we shot, that was Isaiah's. I got loose permission from a property owner to use the alleyway between a concert venue and an apartment building. The general response was indifferent, so I'm like, okay, let's just go for it. But yeah, it turned out great. So we did a couple stills at one of the concert venues, like real early in the morning, and then did a couple rollers through downtown on our way out.
Nice.
So yeah. I would like to do more of that though, because there's a lot of cool spots downtown to be found. And,
I have an invention for you guys.
Yeah?
And you got to get the 3D printer guy involved.
We can do that.
Okay. So you know how huge budget companies have like the Cayennes running around with the big booms? Mm-hmm. Okay. So here's what I want. I want like a helicopter pole on top of a car, and I want you to be able to ratchet strap it on to different things with like a pillow underneath. And then it's basically like 2 big arms off this way with probably a couple little weights this way.
Okay.
And then off the end of these, you can move a couple little harnesses that then drop down. And you can strap your photographers into those harnesses hanging off the side of the car and then balance them in. So with one hand, you can move them closer or further away from the shot. But you have 2 photographers, one on each side, as you're going down the road.
Let me get with my associates here real quick. Steve, what's our insurance like?
It's not that great.
Sounds great. I'm in.
Yeah, we're in.
All right. So
Wow.
I think that'd be sweet.
That'd be pretty cool.
yeah.
Cool. Because, like, especially because, you know, like sometimes as vehicles are moving dynamically.
Yeah, or maybe
they
you
might
could
be
do
on
front
one
and
side
back
or the
might be
other
better
side.
rather than left and right, because then at least you're not taking up the whole road.
Well, you said helicopter, so why not just make it spin?
Spinning.
Yeah,
them.
it can
all right.
rotate. Full 360.
There you go.
You might need to
4
rotate photographers.
4 photographers that you can just spin around the car,
This sounds super safe.
and you guys could each have little wings
Yes.
that help control where you're at.
Yep.
Gunnar, how are you feeling from this on the mechanical engineering standpoint?
I think this is a brilliant idea.
Fantastic.
Well, thanks.
I'll get on it right away.
Okay. All right, it's time to end.
Yeah.
But before we do that, I'm going to tell you guys you all have a daily driver.
Yes.
And then your fun car for the rest of your life has to be from 1 decade. So you can pick a fun car and you can switch between them, but it has to be like, and I don't mean like 1955 through 1965. It's the 2000s, the 2010s.
Increments of 10.
Yes.
Okay.
Starting at the 0. Brendan, what do you pick?
I mean, I'm pretty firmly in the 80s.
I knew it. I was right. Okay.
I mean, I'm already basically there.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. I mean, you could have had your DeLoreans and your Audis.
I had my DeLorean.
Technically,
They're gone now, thankfully.
I'll give you your Viper. That I think
no,
was
you can keep it.
That was in
89.
That was 89, right? I think
You
technically.
can have it.
So
The GTR, you can have that too. You're really good at it.
I dominated that GTR.
You dominated it.
Yep. That was an 89, right?
91.
But it could have been an 89.
Could have been an 89.
Yep. So, all right. Cool.
Gunner?
I'm a little torn between 2000s and 2010s.
Yeah. I kind of planned that. I
Yeah.
thought that. Yep.
Yeah. I
Why
think
2000s?
2000s, I think that's like peak supercar. I think that's just like, for me at least, it's so much nostalgia. I think that's just like the purest form of everything where engineering kind of came into play.
So Carrera GT and
I'm thinking more Zonda route.
Zondas. Okay. Early Zondas.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
As far
And how about on the thing that like I could maybe afford in my lifetime?
right, a Zonda.
Yeah. I'll try it.
Yeah. Daily driver end, tricky.
No, you get your daily. You get to keep
get to
it.
keep your daily.
What your daily you
you
can
have
trade
a
out
daily.
through all the new stuff.
Gotcha.
Your fun car just has to stay in the range.
Okay. Something a little more affordable than that. Maybe like a Murcielago.
All right. All right. I respect that. That's that's
I
cool.
mean, Sterling can get you an Aventador for half the price.
Right. Right. The waiting period's a bitch, but
honestly,
Bespoke.
6 years to get something.
hey, that's worth
Yeah,
it.
no,
yeah.
that's
Build a car
cool.
from scratch. That's
Yeah, no, that's
pretty amazing.
all right, Chris.
Everyone's looking all
Yep.
eyes on me. My and probably a product of my birth year. My mind immediately went to the '90s because I feel like that's the really good sweet spot of like you've got your later GTRs, you've got Supras, you've got Miatas. My LX450 falls into the '90s category, so I get to keep that.
You can have the Viper.
I'll take the Viper.
Yeah.
And it also just exists in the era where it's like they're modern enough to be what I would consider safe by modern standards because that's when they started to think about things like crumple zones and airbags, but they're still analog enough that like not only do they still provide like a relative degree of an analog driving experience because you still have like hydraulic power steering and fewer driver assistance, but also just makes them easier to work on. So I'm going to say 90s.
Steve?
I'm going to go with the 2000s.
Okay.
So I've actually owned both of these cars at the same time, and I still have the one. But one's an E39 station wagon, the BMW 525i, and the other one, that my daily driver. And then the fun car was my 2007 BMW Z4 M Coupe. So I would go with 2000.
Okay.
Yeah, sweet.
Justin?
No answer.
You don't have an answer?
No.
You can't pick a decade?
I know. I have stuff so partial to me, like that I would.
Weren't you waxing poetic on 996s just last weekend?
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. But I don't know. I mean, because, my part falls for a 79 911, so I'd be in the 70s, but I don't know anything else in the 70s that I would, die to have.
Early 928. You're welcome.
Yep.
The 914s, those were in the 70s.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time with it too, but I'm 70s.
Really?
Yeah, because that's like my Carrera RS, which is my like dream thing. And then towards the end, you get the 930 turbos. In there, you've got Countach, so you could get into kind of some of the crazy stuff there. At the early end, you still got Miura. I think they did the SVs in like 70, 71.
When did the Countach come out?
76?
That early?
Or maybe even 74. I think the Periscopo was like 74.
Oh, jeez.
It was in the ballpark.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So you got that.
For getting bonkers, you could have a 917K, couldn't you?
Yeah. So
not?
I got some awesome race car options too. So I think I'm taking the 70s.
I like it.
And
Good choice.
throw the safety to the wind, which unfortunately right now is something I got to think about.
We actually got every decade from the 70s
Did I
forward.
tell you guys about breaking myself?
No.
Oh, we were going to take a video of you.
We should peel off my
redressing.
Band-Aid.
Yeah.
But I went to Minneapolis to visit my my family there, and I was playing with my nephews, and they wanted to have a race. And it was guys versus girls, and they were towards the front, but they were going about walking pace. They're 5 and 3.
Okay.
So I knew we had to win, and I'm not sure why, but so from the back of the crew, I took off at a dead sprint. I passed my wife and didn't push her, which I was proud of. In my left arm, I scooped up the 5-year-old. In my right arm, 2 steps later, I scooped up the 3-year-old. And then about a half step later, I stubbed my left toe and fell at full sprint with about 100 pounds of children in my arms.
Big kids.
Yeah. All right. 50 pounds of kids in my arms.
Okay.
And I managed not to damage either of them. But I shredded through a pair of Lululemon everything pants on both knees.
They make those for men?
Oh, they're
Right, it's
fantastic.
Karma.
Oh
It's
my
Karma,
God, they're
right?
good.
He was wearing
Yeah.
Lululemon.
I wear them to work every day. I can go to the gym, but I don't. I can go to work, and I do in those. I could wear them to church. I don't.
Happy Women's Day, by the way.
Yes, exactly. I would wear them anywhere. And yeah, these are pants, not leggings. My wife offered to buy me Viore sweatpants. I was like, I can't wear anything that has a stretchy, like, ankle band. That's just not me. I'm quite satisfied in my sexuality, but I can't wear like stretch pants. I'm not there. But so I totally biff it, and I shred the shit out of my knee. I've got like a 6-inch by 3-inch, like, motorcycle burn all over my left knee. And oh God, I don't know. That's the end of my story. But
That's amazing.
I fell hard.
You're very brave.
Thanks.
Someone at the door, like trying to drop food or something.
I didn't order anything. There's a car over there.
Yep.
All right.
Someone just came to the
so
door
on
with a
that
paper bag.
bombshell,
I don't know.
do you guys have anything else you want to talk about?
I got nothing.
No, we're just, we're always stoked to come down here and hang out with you guys. You guys have been just awesome friends and awesome mentors as we've gone through the magazine
I'll
project.
take the friend side. Mentor, I don't know about that.
We look up to you. I have to. You're very tall.
I am very tall. That's true. If that's what you meant, I'll take it.
We've just really enjoyed getting to work with you guys, go to things with you, hang out with you at Pikes Peak. John, your pit walks are legendary.
Yeah.
Hey, we're getting geared up for the next one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
But
Hey, lady, how long you been waiting to pee? It's pretty much verbatim what I said. But anybody have a song they want to listen to for like 3 minutes as we wait for YouTube to finish?
What genre?
Yeah, this is pretty funny.
All right. Well, I win.
Yeah. It'll just be some random thing. So,
My music taste has been varied lately. I don't know if you want death metal or Jimmy Buffett.
but if you're ready, John.
Yeah.
So for the First Dibs podcast, thank you very much, Shift Colorado, for coming to join us again.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here. And anyway, I'm Justin.
Oh, I'm John, and I'm looking for a song.
Yeah, and for Brendan, Gunnar, Steve, Chris, and Steve. Yeah.
I actually have a nickname that is Steve.
Steve, okay.
Technically talk about Steve, but that's a story for another day.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, and have a good night.